Let me tell you something. Not everyone who smiles with you is with you, and understanding that doesn't make you paranoid. It means you need discernment. As believers, we're called to love people. We're called to forgive people. We're called to treat people with grace. But nowhere in Scripture are we commanded to give everybody unlimited access to our lives. There's a difference between having a loving heart and having no boundaries. When I read Colossians chapter 4, something stood out to me. Paul tells believers, devote yourselves to prayer, stay alert, be thankful. And then he starts talking about how we deal with people outside the faith. He says, walk in wisdom toward outsiders, make the most of every opportunity, and let your conversation always be full of grace. Did you catch that? Prayer, alertness, wisdom, grace, they belong together. Because you can pray and still need discernment. You can love someone and still need boundaries. You can forgive someone and still recognize that they shouldn't have the same access they once had. Jesus himself said, be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. In other words, keep your heart clean, but keep your eyes open. That's maturity. Sometimes we think being a Christian means we have to ignore what we're seeing. Someone repeatedly shows us who they are, and we keep saying, but I'm supposed to love them. Yes, love them, but loving somebody doesn't require you to ignore wisdom. Everybody who compliments you isn't celebrating you. Everybody who asks questions isn't concerned about you. Everybody who wants information doesn't need information. And everybody sitting at your table doesn't necessarily belong in your inner circle. Now, that doesn't mean start looking suspiciously at everybody around you. That's not discernment. That's fear. Discernment doesn't say everybody is against me. Discernment says, God, help me see clearly. There's a big difference. And here's another lesson. You don't have to tell everybody everything. Sometimes wisdom sounds like silence. You don't have to announce every opportunity, every relationship, every financial move, every prayer request, every struggle, every plan, every door God is opening. Some things need time to develop privately. And this is where prayer becomes important, because prayer isn't only talking to God. Prayer should also develop our ability to listen. Lord, who belongs in this season? Who doesn't? Who should I encourage? Who should I distance myself from? What should I say? What should I keep private? When should I speak? And when should I simply be quiet? That's wisdom. But Colossians doesn't stop with discernment. Paul says, let your conversation be gracious. And that's important because sometimes when people discover that somebody isn't for them, they become nasty, cold, vindictive. Now they're throwing subtle messages online. They're telling everybody what happened. They're trying to expose somebody. But wisdom says you don't have to destroy somebody just because you've discovered they shouldn't have access to you. Sometimes you simply adjust the relationship. No announcement, no revenge, no social media campaign, no unnecessary argument, just a boundary. You can be gracious and unavailable. You can be respectful and distant. You can forgive without returning to the same relationship dynamic. That's practical Christianity. And here's something else. Watch your mouth. Because when you're hurt, your mouth can create another problem while you're trying to explain the first one. Proverbs tells us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. So before you respond, ask yourself, does this need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said right now? And can I say it without allowing my emotions to control my delivery? That's self-governance, because maturity isn't having the perfect comeback. Sometimes maturity is having the perfect comeback and deciding not to use it. Listen, you don't have to win every argument. You don't have to correct every misunderstanding. And you don't have to convince everybody that your intentions were good. Some things you give to God. Pray, stay alert, walk wisely, speak graciously, and pay attention to patterns. Don't judge somebody from one bad day, but don't ignore repeated behavior either. Words matter, but patterns tell stories. If someone's words say, I support you, but their behavior constantly undermines you, pay attention. If someone's words say, I love you, but their behavior repeatedly disrespects your boundaries, pay attention. If someone constantly needs access to your personal business, but is never available when you need genuine support, pay attention. Again, we're not becoming suspicious of everybody. We're becoming wise, because not everyone who smiles with you is with you. But here's the other side. Don't become so guarded that nobody can love you either. Discernment needs balance. Some people really do love you. Some people really are praying for you. Some people really do want to see you succeed. Don't punish healthy people for what unhealthy people did to you. Ask God for the wisdom to know the difference. So here's what I want you to remember. Pray before you react. Observe before you accuse. Use wisdom before giving access. Use grace when you speak. Use boundaries when necessary. And let God handle what you cannot see. You don't need to know everybody's intentions. You need enough discernment to govern your own decisions. Keep your heart clean. Keep your eyes open. Keep your mouth gracious. Grace doesn't eliminate discernment, and discernment doesn't require hostility. Keep your boundaries healthy, and keep your relationship with God strong, because everybody doesn't need access to where God is taking you. And remember, not everyone who smiles with you is with you. So love people, but walk in wisdom. God bless you.